Everyone. Welcome to Definitely Different Conversations podcast. My name is Evie. If you guys have never heard of me, for all you guys will be listening in the future, and most likely if you're seeing me live, you probably will know me. So yeah, it is my birthday today, and I had, so we got something with it that has been very different. So today I woke up extremely peaceful, and this has been definitely not so in the past. I actually sort of forgot that it's going to be my birthday. Because with the wonders of Facebook, it's very difficult to forget anything because you got so much notifications. But I actually planned a lot of things today, and I wasn't even aware that it was going to be my birthday. So yeah, so to come back to aging, is it a curse or is there a different possibility? Because today, like, I'm 37 years old, and I really, like, my roommate was like, how old are you? And I'm like, I think I'm 37. And yes, pretty sure last year I was 36, but I was still like not really remembering it. Now it's sort of like, yeah, okay, I'm 37. And what happens, like, how much of projections when you reach a certain age, especially me being a single woman, being 37, like, I have no relationship. There is not going to be, there are no plans of having a very serious relationship in the near future. I'm not excluding it, but it's not really on my wish list. And I have no kids, and I don't have any desire to be a mom, or no, I don't have desire to, be pregnant and put a new baby into the world. If I were to happen to meet somebody who is an awesome contribution and has children, I will definitely look at it. Like, what is it, if I would choose that, what is it going to create in the future? And it's totally different. And I got today, like, none of these projections that people have, like, a lot of people of my age are doing very different stuff. They are established in their job, they have children, they have more or less a career, they are, I don't even know all the stuff because it's like, it's not in my world, and I don't really have much of a social life. I pretty much, my work, quote unquote, is basically what I do every day and brings me joy every day. And so the projections of somebody who is 37 years old, I actually got today, don't have any effect on me, because it's not my desire, it's not my reality. Sorry, I got a bit sidetracked. So with that, I was like, fuck, like, for all of you guys out there that at one point, because I know a lot of people that reached a certain age that are not doing what everybody else does, and that think they are a fuck up. They don't have what it takes. There's something wrong with them. And I've had it for years, because I've never been really good at the relationship thing. I used to have a couple of relationships, and it never really worked out. And I'm sidetracked again. Woo! How does it get any better? And I've reached a point in my life, and especially today, I was like, oh my God, I am so peaceful, with an excitement as well. Like, okay, what else is possible from this day forward? And it's a totally different way of mindset than most people do. Hello, Timian. Like, how often do you try to create your life in order to be like everybody else, in order to fit in order like in order to really, how do you call it, like self-fulfilling prophecy, like all the stuff that has been projected at you that you may be not even aware of, but like pure energetically, that you try to be that in the world, and you don't, like, it's not your world, it's not part of your reality, and so you feel like a total fuck up. So this is because I did an X-Men class yesterday with Heather Nichols, and it has been absolutely mind-blowing that if you're one of those people out there where you have a lot of trouble with aging, you have a lot of guilt, you have a lot of wrongness about it, like really what has been everything that has been your life up to today has actually been something that really is right about you. So what else is possible from here that you have never considered before? It has been 5 years ago where I really started to choose something totally different from the norm and the mainstream. And in those past 5 years, I have seen many people come and I have seen many people go. And most of the people that I know from my previous lives are not there anymore. And it's not because there's something wrong with me or there is something wrong with them. It's just when you really start to be aware of what always has been true for you, and you start to live that every day, people will go for multiple reasons. They're not connecting with you anymore. Most likely, it's also like a lot of relationships are based on where you connect to people, you have certain same problems, and then you talk about those problems. And when you start to like really choose something different, which has been something for me about like, okay, so if this reality isn't real, like what else would be available? And a lot of the problems that I used to have were connection points with people. And if you no longer do these connection points, if these problems are no longer relevant, people don't think you're interesting anymore. A lot of people also have a way of a lot of relationships. They want to control you. They want to control you with their problems. They want to control you with their reality. And if you no longer buy somebody's story, there's nothing they can control you with. So you're not that fun anymore. So aging and relationships, how does it get any better than that? And this is also where like a lot of that comes with aging. There's a lot of stages that a lot of people start to say. This is like, for example, menopause is a really great example about it. Like how many conclusions and projections and judgments are about when you reach a certain age. What is it, like 40, 45, 50? You're reaching an age where menopause kicks in, and with menopause, there's a lot of stuff that comes with it. When you reach 30, when you reach 20, when you reach 35, there's a lot of things that come with it that people from now on, you're going to start to get more tired or whatever. And I've seen the total opposite. Like the older I get, the more I can accomplish, the more I am in my power, the younger I start to look. Depending on the picture, because I do have tendencies to really shape shift and then take on forms that are my environment. This is totally a conversation for something different, but I have noticed at certain points, because I live now in this city called Ghent, and in the weekends there's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of alcohol, and I don't really live in the city center anymore. But when I did back in the day, sometimes in the weekends, I would wake up like I had the hugest hangover. I looked like I was 50 and I didn't even go out. And it took some time to really get like, oh, I'm aware and my body is aware, and there is also something that's called a capacity, and I have capacities to take out drugs and alcohol from people's bodies. This is totally like another conversation as well, called you know, being a sexual healer, where you where you have like these capacities to make people feel better when they are around you. And so to come back to aging, so if you wouldn't, because the title is like, is it a curse or is it a different possibility? Because this reality says you age, and when you age at certain aging points, this will happen, 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 and then you'll die. So a lot of people see it as a curse. A lot of people have a lot of judgments around feeling older, looking older, wrinkles, all the stuff that comes with that. And when you are believing all those things, you're actually going to create them. And I've seen it so much in my own life. If you don't buy what people project at you, even if they don't say it out loud, if you don't buy what this reality says about aging, there's actually something totally different that can occur. Because if you buy the projections that at one certain age you will start to have back pains, and then you start feeling them and you're like, oh fuck, I'm getting older, you know what happens? You're actually making it real and solid, and you're creating your body such as you start to die. And there's a lot of things, so many different things that we can, like, different angles. And one of the things that I started to realize is food. Like, how are we choosing the foods so we can guarantee that we die at a certain age? And during these last 5 years, I've been eating way different and way less. I used to eat a lot, and these days I eat different. I eat less, and my weight has nothing to do with it. Like, if I feel really good and I'm really asking my body, how would you like to look like? Some days I look really full, but I eat less. So, and my body is really happy with that. It has like nice perky breasts, and it feels like it's strutting. How do you call it in English? Strutting your stuff. You're feeling really tall. You're feeling really like, not really sure if there's like a way to say this in English, but like, I think strutting your stuff really works perfectly well. And then there's something else that also pops into my mind. Is the other day I went to a funeral of somebody that I used to know, and so the person died of a certain thing. I think it's a type of cancer that has been running in his family for quite some time, and so somebody notified me. Well, my ex-boyfriend. It was his dad. And he notified me to say like, hey, my dad died. And I immediately got like a full download of all of that. And I knew I had to be there. I knew I had to be there at the funeral. And the dad also, the late dad that passed away, also came in to say hello and like, yeah, I would really love you to be there on the funeral. I was like, yeah, totally. And I also got like, because in these past 5 years, I have learned some really amazing tools. I've learned the tools of access consciousness. I've learned the tools of talk to the entities. And I've learned some amazing shit that we can change if we don't buy into what this reality says is real and true. What the doctor says, what this reality says, what science says. So he was actually giving me the information, like almost everybody in his family died of the same type of cancer, or it is cancer. I'm not really sure about the precise logistics. And when I was at the funeral, is there anything that I can contribute to you? And then I started to like really uncreating and dissolving all of the stuff that the family have made real and true about the cancer. And I'm not really sure how much his family that passed away received from that, but the person, so the dad, did receive. And so something can show up for him when he chooses to go into a body again. So this is also something, like from Talk to the Entities, that it's basically your body dies, but the being, the spirit, or however you want to call it, never dies. So all the things that you have been buying from previous lifetimes, you take that on to another body. And I also asked deceased dad if I could contribute anything to him and his family relatives, and he's like, "No, I got this." And then he went away again because he said hello to me in church, and I was there with like a huge smile. I was like, "Oh my God, I cannot smile because this is a funeral. You're not supposed to smile." But he was like standing right next to me, and he was so happy that I was there. He was very grateful. And then he went back to support his mourning family. So that being said, like even with all of the stuff with aging, like diseases that comes with aging, like cancer, like anything else, like what if you can even change that? And there's probably a lot of you people listening or watching right now is like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, how is that even possible? And yes, indeed, I totally get that. And one of the super tools that I have been using to change this dynamically, because I didn't really ask something different with my age. I just went the 5 years creating my life, and that was it, is I have been really, really, really impressed with the tools of Access Consciousness. I've been using them for like 5 years now. I have been running my bars, which is like 32 points on your head. And when you slightly touch them, stuff changes. Everything that you have solidified, everything that you have bought as real and true. When you run your bars, it changes, it dissipates. There's also like the Access body work, where everything that you have solidified in your body, that now can have like a different possibility. Which one of the processes that really pops with me is the energetic facelift, which is like 30 or 29 different processes all in one. When you run them on the body, stuff changes dynamically. And as it says, it's actually especially for people for aging. It's a process. I think it was actually, if I'm not mistaken, no, I'm not going to say that because I'm not really sure about it. But it is a process that not only, so the Access energetic facelift is a process that doesn't only lift your face, it changes something dynamically in your body, and it also lifts your life. It was the very first class that I've anticipated in 5 years ago when I first learned about the tools of Access Consciousness, and my life was turning upside down. I think I freaked out for 2 weeks because nothing felt the same anymore. There was nothing to connect with after that class, even if I wanted to. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my bars run. And then I learned tools to really go with it very differently. And here we are today, because that's like 5 years ago. Today I'm 37, and there's something very peaceful about it, and there's something very excited about it. It's like peaceful in a way that I don't have that urge of I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to get married, I need to have a kid, I need to fulfill this so my family is happy, I need to do this so people can, like, so I have social status or whatever. It's like, no, okay, this all doesn't apply to me. And the excitement is like, if I have been able to create this in the past 5 years, something totally different, like what else is possible from here? And this is like This is what I'm talking about, a different possibility. Like really, no matter where you are in life, if nothing is even relevant for you, if nothing is ever real, what could you create? If it's all just a story, like the story of your past, what if it's just a story? Like how many awesome, beautiful, brilliant people. I'm thinking right now about Steve Jobs, that he created so many cool stuff. He was definitely different. He had a dream. I don't know what or why, but I want a computer so everybody in their houses can start using it. And this was the seed that got created, where like the iPhone sprouted from. Like somebody who was like, fuck, I'm not listening to anybody else. And it's like everywhere where you guys have been listening to your family, to your friends, to your cultural environment, like anything. Like most likely, if you have come here to this page and you're still listening, you are definitely different. And it means that this reality actually doesn't really apply to you. So I think, no, that's not what I wanted to say. It's, if you're here right now and you want something totally different, wherever you're at, like what if today is the day to have something different to show up? And yeah, like I think I've seen it somewhere where I wrote a poem about it as well, where Piglet asks Winnie the Pooh, what day is it today, Pooh? And Pooh says, it's today, my favorite day. And what if that is, like, what if today is your favorite day to start creating a future? What if every choice that you make today is a seed that will start to sprout in the future? And what if one of those choices is to not believe what other people tell you to do? Because I remember so many years ago, my big journey of big change started like 5 or 7 years ago. And I remember in the small town that I grew up in for the most of my life, a lot of people were I don't even have words for it. Like some people were really nasty and mean that said to my face, like, who do you think you are? Like, but I kept doing what was working for me. I kept going with it. And look what these seeds that I was willing to leave my life as it was, I left it behind. And today something totally different is possible. And I'm not saying that what I have chosen is like, this is what you should do. It's like, no, like wherever you're at in your life, what is it? Is it working? And what if you could start asking for something different to show up? That has nothing to do with aging. It's just you waking up and saying, no, this doesn't work for me anymore. I'm ready for something different. And you can just ask with a question. Like I think this comes from a bars book. This the bars manual. When you go to a bars class, you have a manual. And I think it goes like, it's gonna come. Oh, yes. What life would really make it worthwhile living for me? It's something similar as that. It's not the same, it's something similar. And it's like when you ask a question, it will open up everything that you have solidified. This is it, and this is the conclusion, and this is how it's always going to be. Like if you ask like, okay, what makes it worthwhile living for me? What do I really desire? Like what makes me happy? What brings me joy? How does it get any better than this? Like, really, what else is possible? I've never considered possible, that I don't think is possible. That if I would allow the possibilities, would actualize a totally different reality. Just that. Like every time you catch yourself with conclusions in your head, first of all, who do they belong to? Are you aware? And like, what if you at that moment decided, fuck it, what else is possible? I'm not choosing this. And one of the major tools, and I cannot say this enough, like if you really want to have like start having ease with change and you really want to change, is get your bars run, go to a bars class, have body processes run on your body, go to a body class, and then really start to choose different things in your life. I love and this is what you call can't remember shit. Einstein. Choosing the same thing, his definition of insanity is choosing the same thing all over again and hoping for a different result. Well, that's the thing. Like if you keep choosing the same choices over and over and over again, you won't create the space for something else to show up. You won't see it, you won't hear it, you won't notice it. But when you ask a question for something different, new things can come to you, and then you can start to choose different, because that's the major part of this. Is like, what I love about these tools, they give you choice, they give you another choice, they give you the space and the awareness and the presence. Okay, this is not working. These are other available choices. They feel really uncomfortable because I've never chosen them before. But what I've noticed is once you start to choose something different, that is when everything can start to really dynamically change. And this might all be for the people who have been playing with the bars and who have been playing with the body processes and have been playing with the tools and been saying like, well, you know, nothing is changing that much. Have you been choosing differently that much? Because like whatever tools you use, I'm using the tools of Access because they're fun, fast, and easy. Whatever tools you use, like there's always this very important component. It's vital, pivotal. You have to choose something different. So if age wasn't real, what other choices could you start making so something totally different can show up beyond age? Thank you everybody for listening today and in the future. Really, if age was just a number, who would you choose to be? How old would you choose to be? And have you been here several lifetimes? Bye, everyone.